everybody should work and coordinate together. So one of the main factors that affect us is that we should have good coordination and communication with all stakeholders. We should also comply with the regulatory requirements of various ports. All different ports have got different regulations and different requirements.
Hello and welcome back to FaceTime with Leaders, the podcast where we sit down with industry pioneers shaping the future of business, governance, and leadership. Brought to you by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. This is where we get real insights from those who have been at the helm of transformation. I'm Sunny Pancholi, and today we have a truly fascinating guest, Captain Joju Alex Cherian. With decades of experience navigating the high seas and ensuring safe cargo operations, he has done it all. From commanding bulk carriers to overseeing complex cargo operations, marine surveys, and risk management. But leadership in the maritime world isn't just about moving cargo. It's about strategy, precision, and making decisions in high stakes environments. Captain Joju has been at the forefront of it all, and today we get to hear his journey, the lessons he has learned, and his take on the future of shipping and governance. Captain Joju, welcome to FaceTime with Leaders. It's a pleasure to have you here. Let's dive in.
Thank you, Mr. Sani. Thank you for the warm welcome and for giving me an opportunity to be part of this program.
Great to hear that, sir. So, the sea has a way of shaping leaders, and your journey from cadet to industry expert is truly inspiring. Then, looking back, did you ever imagine this path for yourself? What was that first moment or challenge that made you realize this was more than just a career but a lifelong journey in leadership and maritime excellence?
Joining the Merchant Navy and commanding a merchant vessel was a childhood dream for me. When I was about 7 years old, I had the privilege of traveling on a passenger vessel. And that was the time I decided that when I grow up, I should enter into the Merchant Navy. The sea has been a great teacher and has taught us the value of discipline, responsibility, time management, being prepared for everything, and to be calm in a crisis situation. The Merchant Navy has tasked a Merchant Navy captain has to take many responsibilities and decisions under immense pressure and unpredictable circumstances. So, and we also manage the crew, the safety of life at sea, the vessel, and also the maintenance of the equipment. So, I think the people management is one of the greatest skills which I have learned, keeping myself composed, and I think this is one of the requirements of a great leader when they come ashore.
Absolutely, sir. And it's incredible how those tough situations end up being the most valuable lessons in hindsight. So, continuing our conversation, Captain Joju, managing bulk carriers, heavy lift cargo, and maritime inspections is a high stakes job that demands both precision and leadership. But moving from life at sea to leading operations onshore is a whole new challenge. It's no longer just about handling vessels, but also managing people, processes, and business strategies. So, what was that transition like for you? What were some of the biggest challenges you faced in shifting from a ship's deck to the boardroom? And how did you adapt to this new leadership role?
Transition from a merchant navy captain to a shore job was indeed a very drastic change. Out at sea, we had limited people to control and command, and whatever the master says, that was the final word. But out in the corporate field, we have to take care of the stakeholders' views and opinions and the business dynamics. And we also have team leaders from various branches of the industry coming and sitting together in the boardroom. So it is basically a teamwork, and we have to coordinate and take into account the business dynamics when we come to any firm decision. But I think my transition from the shore, from the ship to the shore, was one of the best decisions that I have made, and I am very happy moving forward.
Absolutely, absolutely, Captain Joju. Going from immediate hands-on decision making at sea to long-term strategic leadership onshore must have been a big shift for you.
Yes, definitely.
So, Captain Joju, the world relies on maritime logistics more than most people realize. Every shipment, every port operations, and every risk assessment plays a role in keeping global trade moving. So, with your experience in cargo handling, port operations, and risk management, you have seen firsthand what it takes to ensure efficiency in such a complex industry. From your perspective, what are the key factors that truly make maritime logistics seamless and efficient in today's world?
Global trade is one of the major factors which affect us today, and about 90% of the volume of cargo moves by sea. So, in order to have a seamless transition and seamless operation, there should be good coordination between all the stakeholders that are involved, from the vessel to the port authorities to the cargo handlers to the logistics providers. Everybody should work and coordinate together. So, one of the main factors that affect us is that we should have good coordination and communication with all stakeholders. We should also comply with the regulatory requirements of various ports. All different ports have got different regulations and different requirements. So we should comply with the various regulations. Suppose when if you are in US, they have their environmental pollution requirements and the seawater pollution requirements. So all that should be taken into consideration. And also when we are dealing with multinational crew, we have to learn to communicate and respect their culture. They come from with different background of culture, and we should respect them and work as a team to ensure that everything goes smoothly.
That's a great point, actually, Captain Joju. So much happens behind the scenes to ensure smooth operations, and it's fascinating to hear how every detail plays a role.
Yes, that's true.
So, when we talk about cargo handling and port safety, most people think about the obvious risks, heavy machinery, unpredictable weather, or operational delays. But as a marine warranty surveyor, you have developed a sharp eye for the risks that often go unnoticed until they become major issues. So, from your experience, what are some of the most overlooked risks in cargo handling and port operations that businesses should pay, closer attention to?
As a marine surveyor and as a marine professional, right from the time we joined sea, we have been trained to be very observant. There are many places where something can go wrong, and the ship being an industry by itself, many things can go wrong. And when people who are not familiar with the shipping environment, they come on board and they start operating on board the vessel, we have to make sure that they are also safe. So one of the key factors is to have a proper risk assessment and to brief the people who are coming on board of what they can expect and what are the safety precautions that has to be observed on board the vessel. Then when the cargo operations are going on, many a times the basic safety procedures are sometimes overlooked. There is always a chance of miscommunication or assuming that the other person will know what to do. But it is always better to have a pre-cargo operation meeting or so that everybody involved, all the stakeholders involved should be familiar with what to expect and the safety precautions. Many times when the cargo is lifted, the cargo gear is not being inspected, and sometimes the people tend to walk underneath the cargo. In many cases, it has happened that the cargo ceiling has parted and it has caused accidents. Sometimes the ship, there are many hydraulic systems, and the oil pipelines may leak and somebody may fall down. Also, when they are going down the stairs, there may be inadequate lighting, and in the dark, somebody can trip and fall. So all these precautions have to be taken. One of the main key reasons why accidents are caused is lack of proper communication between the people involved. There have been cases on one of the vessels where a fitter had been assigned to work on a steam pipeline, and the duty engineer had shut off the boiler and had isolated that pipeline. But during the change of shift, the fitter, he thought he will complete the work and he continued the work. But the next engineer who had come to relieve him was not aware that this pipeline had been isolated for a particular reason. And then when he came and opened the valve, the fitter got burnt because of the steam that had gone through the pipeline. Similarly, when we discharge the cargo, we take ballast into the cargo holds. So sometimes if there is any problem with any valve, the cadets or the trainee or the crew will go down. Many a times it has happened that they have gone down because the valve was not opening, and the person or the duty officer who is controlling the ballast operation, he has started ballasting without noticing that the crew was still inside the ballast tanks. And many people have lost their lives. And this, in spite of repetitive incidents such like these have happened and people are aware, yet these incidents still continue to happen because we tend to bypass or take things for granted. So I think that we should comply with the safety procedures and not bend under pressure or try to miscommunicate or misrepresent ourselves. So these are some of the few factors which I feel we should be very, very careful of and carry a proper risk assessment. And the crew and the people who are working on board should be trained and familiar with the operations.
That's eye-opening, actually, Captain Joju. So many of these risks happen behind the scenes, and most people would not even think about them until it's too late. Okay.
Correct.
So, continuing our conversation, Captain Joju, great leaders are always looking ahead, setting new goals, and finding new ways to make an impact. So, as you look to the future, what excites you the most? Are there boardroom aspirations or larger leadership ambitions that you are looking and working towards in the next phase of your career?
Yes. After I attained the post of captain, the job seemed to be very monotonous. So I thought that it will be better for me to sit on the other side of the table and to use my experience out at sea to guide the future generation and also to develop myself to be a good corporate leader. So with this in mind, I started developing my skills. And with that intention in mind, I started looking out for good courses. And it is during my search that I found such a good course being conducted by the Director Institute. And I took it as an opportunity. And I'm happy that I did that.
It's truly exciting. Having someone with your depth of experience shaping decisions at that level would be invaluable to the industry. So, talking about ESG and sustainability, both have moved beyond compliance. They are now key drivers of innovation in the maritime industry. From greener fuels to safer operations, the focus is shifting towards long-term impact. So, with your expertise in risk management and port operations, how do you see ESG being truly embedded in maritime beyond just meeting regulations? And what real changes can drive lasting impact?
It's a very valuable question. And keeping the environment concerns in mind, the IMO, International Maritime Organization, has come up and developed various programs like reducing the sulfur content in the ship's fuel, making waste management compliance mandatory, to not to throw hazardous cargo or polluting cargo which can harm the marine environment. They have made training and training more compulsory and more rigid. Our exam regimes have become more stringent. Then we also have how to dispose of the hazardous cargo. And keeping that in mind, there is also transparency and proper record keeping. And we have to comply with all these requirements so that we ensure that the future generations will be not much affected by this by the environment that we are working on now.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's such an important shift, actually. Companies that embrace ESG as a strategic advantage rather than an obligation are the ones shaping the industry's future. So, Captain Joju, stepping into leadership development is always a powerful decision, and you recently joined Directors Institute, World Council of Directors, to further enhance your governance expertise. So, I would love to hear about your experience so far, what motivated you to join, and how do you see it adding value to your journey as a maritime leader?
At sea, we had learned certain leadership skills and communication skills. But then when we come ashore, the situation is totally different. And the governance requirements, the strategic planning, the corporate governance, all these factors are much beyond what we have envisioned. And there is a lot of fine-tuning requirement. So in order to learn more, I decided to join the Directors Institute, and I think that it is one of the best decisions that I have made to enhance my professional career. The topics that are covered by the Directors Institute are excellent, and they give various strategies on how to go ahead and how to attend boardroom discussions, the best boardroom practices. And it also provides a platform to interact with industry leaders from various sectors. And we can also engage in fruitful discussions, thereby enhancing our knowledge and allowing us to develop further in this field.
It's fantastic, Captain Joju. Investing in governance expertise is such a crucial step for leaders looking to make a lasting impact. So, what an insightful conversation with you, Captain Joju. Your journey from navigating the high seas to leading maritime operations and governance is truly, truly inspiring. So, thank you so much for joining in and sharing your valuable insights and experience with us today.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be with you today. Thank you.
And to our lovely audiences, this conversation is a reminder that leadership isn't just about experience, it's about evolving, adapting, and staying ahead of the curve. If there is one thing to take away, it's that the maritime industry, like leadership itself, is always moving forward. Whether it's ESG, risk management, or shaping the future of global trade, the opportunities to make an impact are truly endless. So, thank you all for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to subscribe, share it with your network, and stay connected for more inspiring conversations. FaceTime with Leaders, brought to you by Directors Institute. We'll be back soon with more insights from the brightest minds in business. Until next time, stay curious, stay ambitious, and keep leading the way. Thank you so much, and have a nice day.